Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day today. I'm doing a tarot reading on a part two of Natalie Wood. She was born uh, July 20th, 1938, in San Francisco, California, and she died November 29th, 1981, in California. So I'm going to do update because I think it's time to do an update. I'm going to go through her reading and her point of view and other points of view. So first I'm going to ask her when she was um, the first time she got a divorce from RJ, that's what she called him. Did she do it because he was jealous and he had a bad temper? Please tell me, Natalie. Did RJ, this is all entertainment purposes, did RJ threaten her and was jealous and was abusive to her? Please tell me, was she abused by RJ in the first time they were married? Please tell me. I'm gonna do 5 cards. 5 cards. Was she afraid of him? It says in the beginning, no. There was an imbalance though, and I think they didn't imbalance because excess, extreme. I think they both drank a lot. I think he's an alcoholic. I think she thinks he's an alcoholic and he liked to be with different women. Like he cheated on her, and he had a lot of addictions. Like maybe he did some pot or something, in the early days of people in the 60s did pot. So she thought he drank a lot, and he had addictions, like he liked to be with other women. So he was not the kind of person, he was a ladies' man that stayed with one woman. He liked multiple women. So I think that's part of the problem with his first marriage to her. And she thought it was unfair that he was flirting with the women and having affairs with them, because she felt like he was being dishonest and punishing her like for it. Also, she liked to flirt, and she thought he was being unfair to her, being a double standard. Like it's good for him, it's okay for him to do it, but it's not good for her to flirt. So she thought he was punishing her for for flirting. So yeah. And quick power. She thought he was on a power trip. Like she thought he would be wearing the pants in the family, and she would have nothing to say about it. And she felt weak around him because he made her feel that way, like he was in control of the relationship, like she had nothing to say about it, like she had was her own major star in her own way, but she had to go in the back burner of him, becoming famous in the 60s before they divorced. And she wanted closure. She wanted to end this marriage because she wanted a shortcut to get out of this marriage. She's not happy in this first marriage. She wanted to get out, and but there was no closure in it. She said, "Oh God, is he going to make us stink about getting a quick divorce after being married for a while?" In complications. And also hope. She was hoping things would get better in her marriage with RJ in the first marriage, but she knew it wasn't going to happen because he couldn't change his way. She thought he couldn't change his way, so that's why they got divorced. It doesn't say that he cheated on her. It's just said he had an addiction to alcohol and other women, so that's what happened in the first marriage. He didn't beat her up or anything. He just was not very nice to her and cheated on with other women and had addictions to alcohol and maybe some kind of drugs. All right, I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask one more time. Uh, in their relationship, did he ever hit her? I'm going to just ask. Did RJ ever hit her? Smacked her across the face? Did Robert Wagner, ever hit Natalie Wood? Tell me, Natasha, that's a given name. I like that name, Natasha. I think it's Russian. So I love that. That's a beautiful name. All right, Natasha, can you tell me, did RJ ever hit you? Please tell me. I'm going to do it this way. Did he hit you ever? I'm going to do 5 cards. Whoa. All right. We'll see what the cards say. 4. I did 4. Yeah, he hit her a couple times, but he was jealous and he loved her. He tried to get, try to have a good relationship with her, even though, he tried to have harmony with her. He didn't want to blow up and hit her, but he did. Sometimes he was very vocal, and maybe he didn't hit her, but he was not friendly to her. You can be abusive without hitting someone. He might have said things that weren't nice. So he might have not necessarily hit her, but he was vocal. You can say nasty things like say shut up or swear at the person. So, she wanted harmony in this relationship. This is about her. She feels like he did say things that weren't nice, and she wanted she wanted harmony. She didn't want fighting. She wanted inner happy in this relationship. She wanted happiness in this marriage. She didn't want in the first and the second one. She wanted happiness. She didn't want it, and she was really in love with him. And she tried to support his career. But yeah, she was a very traditional person in some ways, and she had some religion in her, and the chance of, like, not cheating with a spouse. She would flirt, but that's as far as it went. Forgiveness. She forgave him so many times of his screaming at her and yelling at her. But there was crossroads. She had a difficult decision. Should she divorce him, or should she stay in this relationship? She wasn't sure which way, what to do in this relationship. Should she stay or should I go? That's a song. And she tried to avoid the fighting, and she didn't know what way to go. Like I said, should she stay in this marriage? Should she have a trial of separation? Should she get divorced? And she didn't know which way, because she had the children to be. She also had to consider her children and her career. So she wasn't sure which way she was going to do, or she would get a divorce or trial of separation or whatever. She trusted herself. She thought maybe she should look into her and do the instinct, which would be best for me. Should she stay or should she go? And she had high morals. Like, she's not going to take crap from RJ or anybody else. She doesn't have to. She shouldn't have to be abused by RJ. So okay. I'm going to ask a question. Was she afraid of him? Was she afraid that he could do something serious to her? Was Natalie Wood, Natalie or Natasha, were you afraid of RJ, like he would do something really dangerous to you? I'm going to do the past, and then I'm going to do her present while she was still alive. Please tell me, Natasha, were you afraid of RJ, Robert Wagner? Please tell me. I'm going to do this. Was she afraid of RJ when he had those mood swings, like in the past? I'm doing 3 in the past relationship, and their present while she was still alive. Let's see. Like I said, entertainment purposes. If it doesn't say, I can't, maybe I'll do a third one. In the past, she rejected it. She thought, she had rose glasses and said, he would never hit me. He would never hurt me. But they broke up, the first time, because he was cheating on her, and this is the past in the first marriage. They broke up because he was probably cheating on her. It said in the other reading that he was addicted to drugs or alcohol, or prescription alcohol and drugs and all this stuff. And she distrusted him. She didn't trust him anymore, and plus she had her career and he had his career, and I think he was jealous of her career. So she didn't trust him anymore. To be honest, they probably had to be separated. Like he was flying off doing his thing, making his movies. She was making his movie. So they were separated a lot of times. So there was disharmony. She loved herself and they broke up because of the first marriage. Changes. She wanted freedom to do her own thing. She felt like he was telling her what to do all the time, how to dress, how to talk, how the interview is. She felt he was very controlling. And the fast-paced change. She wanted fast-paced. She didn't want to stay in this marriage. She wanted to get out of it as fast as she could. And she was liked to travel, be with her kids, travel, go in these exotic different places when she made movies, like Splendor in the Grass, Love with a Proper Stranger, I think that's what it is, or different movies she was in. So she liked to do Gypsy and all that. Doubt. She had doubts in the relationship when she was married with RJ. Should she stay or should she go? Like I said with that song. She felt ill, in this relationship. It was a toxic relationship. She felt sick. She was depressed. She might have drank a little bit too much because she was, she felt he was criticizing her all the time. She felt like RJ was criticizing her, like I said, on the way she talks and everything. So this was a toxic relationship. So, she was trying to express her feelings, and he didn't like that. RJ did not like the relation, how she liked to express herself. He wanted her to be like, you take care of the kids and that's it. So in the present, she tried to be calm and be in control in this relationship. She didn't want to be the meek wife like she was in the 60s. She wanted to be the one in control. But there was turmoil. She knew there was problems in this marriage. He was very vocal. She probably did some things too. But he liked to throw things, smash things. She tried to be optimist, positive about this marriage. Like it's gonna work out. We might have some bumps in the roads. So she tried to be. And she tried to recover. She's trying to let go of anxiety. Maybe she went to a marriage counselor and therapist, and she said, "Oh God, I'm so tired of this fighting with him." In the present, before she died, she probably wanted to go to therapy and fix it. She was naive in this relationship. She thought, "Oh, he could change." His personality. His yelling at her, screaming at her, being nasty to her. She was naive. She thought he could change his ways, his, screaming at her, flirting with other women, cheating. I don't know if he cheated. We'll look that up. It said he did. And she had broken dreams. She had nightmares of him cheating on her and being nasty to her. So I think she visualized broken dreams. Maybe she was dreaming and it woke her up that something bad was going to happen. I'm going to look that up. Discouraged. She was very discouraged in this relationship. She was hoping this trip, going out on the Splendor would be a good thing. And she thought there was bad news. It was bad news when he was drinking and, he was with Christopher Walken, and she thought there was bad news. She knew, when he got jealous, there was bad news. She knew, oh God, that didn't sound good. They didn't have a good they had a vocal relationship. Did she knew eventually she was going to die? Did she ever think, that she was going to ever die? Did she ever think she was going to die, Natalie Wood? I think she should have kept the name because I think Natasha's wonderful. You can tell me what you think of her name. Natalie, were you afraid that you were going to die in the future, like you were going to die young? You weren't going to make it till 70 or 80. Were you had premonition? Because it said broken dream. Did you feel like you wouldn't make it till, I don't know, 70 or 80? Did you know that did you have a premonition that you were not going to make it to your 80th birthday or whatever? did she have permission or thoughts that she would not make it to 80, or did she not even think about it and and say, I'm not going to think that way, screw that, and sometimes I swear. So yeah, did she, do, 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 do. All right, I'm gonna just flip 4. I see people. Do, 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 do. Well, it says she was overwhelmed in this marriage. She wasn't so sure what was going to happen. She was insecure and she was exhausted. She was exhausted. Like I made in other videos, other readings. She was tired of all the fighting and insecure. She was trying to be happy in this relation. She felt like giving up. Oh my God, just feeling like giving up, like getting a divorce. She felt like having. I think she was thinking of going to another country and getting a quick divorce. Maybe I'll look that up after. Arguments. She was tired of arguing with RJ and the fighting. And, she was sick and tired of the fighting. Why do we have to do this? And she probably tried not to fight in front of the kids because that's not a good example. And there was conflicts and she wanted to change it. She didn't want to always fight with him. Like he wanted things his way. He was very, and she wanted to move out. She wanted to move out of the house, probably after, going, I'll ask that. She wanted to move out and go forward and escape him. She thought of that before. I'm going to ask. Overwhelmed. She felt overwhelmed in this relationship. She was tired, exhausted. She probably wanted to go to therapy. So, yeah. And she overextended herself. She didn't go beyond the call of duty. I'm going to ask, did she really want to end the divorce? She said that she wanted divorced her husband. She wanted to move out. Did she really want, she felt like she wanted to get out. Was she going to, like, say she didn't die? Would she have divorced him? Would she have divorced RJ, really divorced him if she have lived? Would she have divorced him? Would she, she said she wanted to. Sometimes people just say things in the spur of the moment. But did she really say, was she going to really divorce RJ? Let's see. I'm going to do 5 cards. Let's see. She was a nurturing mother, though. She really didn't want to do that, but she finances. She had good finances, so she could support herself. She's very rebellion, withdrawn. She wanted her freedom. She didn't want to stay in a toxic relationship, and she wanted to move out. I mean, she wanted to challenge herself, and she wanted to, she didn't want a divorce, but she'd do it if she had to, because she didn't want to be in fighting around the kids and everything and having them see her. She was frazzled and she had anxiety. She was tired of all the fighting. Like I said, the bickering and all that stuff. She thought he was, toxic. She was in a toxic relationship. She didn't want to continue being in this fighting. Excuse me. She was very overwhelmed in this relationship. She didn't know which way to turn. Should she tell her family members, like her sister? She probably talked to her sister. She was very overwhelmed. And she was stubborn. Like she said, I'm getting out. She wanted to get out. She was isolated and withdrawn in this relationship. She felt like she didn't have anybody to talk to about this. She's a very insecure person about this relationship. She was very withdrawn. She didn't know who to turn to. Like she thought maybe she should go to therapy, but she was withdrawn. She was sad in this relationship. She wanted to end it and she wanted to leave. She was sad and depressed, and she didn't want a divorce, but she had to for her own sanity and own children, because she was tired of it. And she thought he was very immature, like, grow up, Robert Wagner, you need to grow up. And she was bored, I'm bored. She probably was bored, always fighting with him, always having disagreements, like I said. and she was going to take actions, go forward. It's there was a no in it, but she it also says she's tired of the fighting, tired of, she didn't want divorce, but she was going to go through with it because she was bored, she was rattled, she was tired of all the fighting, disagreement. So she didn't want it, but she was going to go forward and get a divorce from Robert Wagner. She was sick and tired of the fighting. All right, so she wanted a divorce, even though she really didn't, but she was going to do it anyway. I know that doesn't really make sense, but she would go forward. And all right, did she think, was her death accidental? All right, we'll have her. Please tell me, was her death accidental? Yes or no? Was it accidental drowning? I know I did that before, and it really didn't want to say too much. Maybe Natalie was afraid, that people will get in trouble if the truth comes out. And she doesn't, even though she's pissed. I'm looking. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. It says no, it wasn't accidental, but conservative methods, hard work. It was hard work, staying in this marriage with. He thought it was hard work to be in a marriage with her, and he did. It was. And he didn't want, he was tired of the conspiracy people saying that it was a death, drowning. So he's a very selfish person. Yeah, Robert Wagner, I'm going through Robert people, and he thinks. He was very selfish and greedy. Yeah, he didn't really care about if she drowned or died because he was jealous and upset. He thought he was sad. And he felt like a failure in his marriage with Natasha Wood. Yeah, Natalie. He felt sad and upset that she died, but he killed her. Yeah. I'm going to look that up. He thought his family would support him, saying that she drowned, and there were friends standing by him and stuff. And he was happy after a while. He got his life in order. But he was frazzled when the day came, when she died, he was frazzled, and he felt he was trapped, like doing stuff, pretending that she died. So and it was blocked, it was blocked because a lot of people didn't believe him, that she died, and learned from failure. Realistic goals. He had unrealistic goals, like people will be sympathized with him. So no, it wasn't an accidental drowning. I'm gonna ask, did he do it? Did Robert Wagner kill his wife? Did Robert Wagner kill his wife? Please tell me. Did Robert kill you, Natalie? Let's say entertainment purposes. I don't know. If it doesn't say, then I can't do it, Then she doesn't want people to know, or, even though she's, Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yes, he did. He did it. He did the naughty deed. Yeah. He wanted harmony. She wanted harmony in the relationship. I'm going through her, but he did. He broke the law by killing her. Pushing her overboard, and she tried to honor the relationship. But he did do it. He thought it was being fair, He didn't want to go through a divorce because after the fight, he thought, oh God, she wants a divorce. And I hate to say this, he had the family be united after her death. They were sad, but after a while, they tried to celebrate her life and her death. So, and which is, kind of Well, yeah, they tried to, they celebrated her life and her death and planning. He was planning, to write I think he was planning to write a book about her death or be on TV. He was on a lot of television. He wanted to make money off her death, and he was going to work hard, in his career after her death. And he tried to move on, on his, after, and he tried to change the things, not wanting people to think he's the one who did it. Balance. Yeah, he wants people to find balance, like he's a good person, and that he can do other things besides being Natalie Wood's husband. He was kind of tired of that. He wanted to be called just Robert Wagner. He wanted to do other things like do Heart to Heart when she was gone. Heart to Heart, finish a Heart to Heart, do TV movies, do other movies. He wanted to have his own identity, not be cloned to Natalie Wood. So he wanted his own thing. I'm going to ask them, do people think Robert Wagner did it? I do. But what we'll say, a card say, do people think Natalie Wood was murdered? Please tell me, Natalie. People, do you think Natalie Wood was murdered? I'm doing 5 cards. I did 5 cards. Waste. They thought it was a waste of a life. They thought she was a good actress. They loved her in Splendid in the Glass. I think it was Love with a Proper Stranger. I might have got it wrong. She was in Gypsy. She was in the last film, she was in Brainstorm. She was in a bunch of movies that I haven't seen. But she was a great actress. She loved her children. She was impatient with, having... people were impatient to find the truth. What's taken 30 or 40 years to find out the truth of Natalie Wood's death. They think it was poor management. They think it was a cover-up. That's poor management. They think it was a cover-up, that Natalie Wood's death was a cover-up. And they think people have been lazy about it. They think it's a cover-up, a money cover-up, people covering it up. And they think the person who did it is trying to exit and come with a clear conscience, and and the person is healing and moving on with his life, and he's trying to escape being charged with murder. And they think the time will eventually come out that the person did it. People think eventually it might take a couple years because the person will be on his deathbed or something, that he will finally admit. It might not be him, it might be another person who is going to admit that he killed Natalie Wood. And the person had addictions. This person had addictions to alcohol, drugs. He liked to cheat with other women. He was not a good person. He was abusive, toxic. He was not a good person. He was nasty to her, Natalie Wood. He was not a good person, this person. Yeah. And he betrayed her, and he was depressed. And she was a nurturing person. They thought Natalie was a nice person, and she deserved better than this guy who murdered her. And also, she developed, maybe she would have been a bit better actress. I'm going to ask one more question, because they do think the person I said did it. Would have Natalie Wood, if she was still alive, would have she made more movies? I'm going to ask, because we know she would have left RJ or Robert Wagner. Would she made more movies, Natalie Wood? Would Natalie Wood make more movies? Please tell me. I'm just doing 3 cards. What if she made more movies? She would consider it. She wouldn't, she would consider it. Maybe she would want to be with her kids because they were small at the time. and she wanted to be generous, and she also did. She wanted to raise money for children's charities and stuff, and she would do good advice like give money to charities for animals. I heard she was into animals. She wanted to create different foundations, and she felt that she was weak when it came to RJ sometimes, and she was sick and tired of the fighting and everything. And she also thought she might be too weak to right now to work on making a movies. I forgot that. And she was kind of sick. Maybe she was tired of, the Hollywood scene. So she'd probably try to take a break from it and maybe make independent films and stuff because of what she's seen going on in her life in Hollywood. Weird. So she's probably would want to do different kinds of projects. Stage fear. She was fearful of the new Hollywood scene was turning in the 80s and the 90s. I think she was weird and scared of how Hollywood was changing because it changed a lot from her growing up as a child star in 24th Street to when she was in the 80s. In the 90s, and if she was still alive in the 90s or whatever, she would be fearful of how people were, the actors, the stars, and the directors. She was a little worried on how they treated other people. So she was worried, and she wanted to cheat death. Neurotic, she wanted to cheat death. So I'm going to ask one quick question for Natalie. Is there anything else she wants me to tell people? Please, Natalie, can you want to tell me? Is there anything you want people to know before I say goodbye? Yep, great actress. I'm going to do 4 cards. Come on, Nat. Oh, not very good. There was a lot of dishonesty in her life. People lied to her and her. So she said she didn't trust very much people in her life as she got older because they hurt her, which is kind of sad. I feel sorry for because she was abused, from Robert Wagner and the people in Hollywood. So she said a karma is going to bite them in the ass sooner or later. That's what she thinks, and she hoped that people were going to get the just desserts and get kicked in the ass. She hoped people would, and she think people were being unfair to her. They treated her unfair. The Hollywood scene treated her unfair, and her husband at the time treated her unfair. There were tensions in her marriage. They were fighting. She didn't get along with Robert Wagner. She felt unwelcome. There was not harmony. She felt unhappy in her marriage. She was moody and withdrawing. Because she knew her marriage wasn't doing well. So, and her career was having, it was getting better, but she was, and she did love herself. She was needy, and sometimes she wanted people to want her. She wanted her kids to want her and her husband to want her and people to want her. She tried to recover, she probably was going to go to AA meetings, and she was going to go to, places where people, who were abused, go to therapy or go to places, to dry out and stuff, and she wanted luck, and she wanted her health to be better because her health wasn't good. She was very traumatized. I think she had post-traumatic stress disorder and health issues because of being in the Hollywood sign theme and being with her husband. So she felt really burnt out and upset, and her health was bad. So it seemed like her marriage was on the skid row, that it was going to end. She did think Robert Wagner did something to her, and everybody didn't like him. They think she didn't die from natural causes. Drowning. Sorry, I said drown. I meant drowning. They think she was pushed off or murdered. So into my next video, I might do a part 3 on Natalie Wood. You never know. Into my next video, take care and bye.